here with Uncle Mike of Uncle Mike's Worldwide, creator of Strange Aeons, probably my favorite skirmish game,
well, thank you.
Ever. So why don't you talk to me a little bit about Strange Aeons?
Sure. So like she said, I'm Uncle Mike. Made this game, Strange Aeons, about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. We've done about 4 expansions for it. I play it at least twice a week. I love it. It's basically take H.P. Lovecraft stuff, which is probably the easiest way to get into it. It does include a lot of different writers, but essentially it was my way of making a mythos sort of tabletop game, which nobody had done properly, or at least to my liking. And so I did, and here we are.
And it does not take that long to play. Like an average game takes what?
I'd say 15 to 45 minutes, and that was totally intentional because a lot of my friends have really, really short attention spans. And a lot of games just take way too long to play.
I love the universe of Arkham Horror, right? And I can't, in the time it takes me to set up a game of Arkham Horror, I could be playing and already done a full game of Strange Aeons, so I love that.
Well, thanks. I can't argue that either. I think Arkham Horror is great, but yeah, I think it does take a little long to set up. Although that's not the thrust of Strange Aeons. Strange Aeons is a miniature game, so it's 3 to 5 models versus 3 to 5 models. And everything's compartmentalized into a small sort of skirmish setup where you just basically fight monsters that are Lovecraftian.
That's the beauty of it. I think that's also why I'm so charmed by the game, because you have really freaking cool bad guys. The bad guys in this game are amazing. The formless thing is super cool. Who doesn't love fighting things with just tentacles and mouths? And the godling is just out of this world beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I've wanted one of those since I was 14, and again, I thought there's some pretty cool ones on the market, which I do own most of them because I'm a weirdo, but they were never really right. So I set about getting one that was right. Actually, that was the first 2 years of profit from the business, was producing that model. To the point where I was happy with it, and I do love it. It's
freaking awesome. And I think the other thing that I really love about the game is your female models are just, they look cool, they look badass, but they're not hanging out of their clothes.
Yeah, that does kind of bug me in nerddom. And again, so we're lucky. Our sculptor Kyla Richards, as her name would suggest, is a woman, and that whole big boobs and butts, I mean, that's great for fantasy or for whatever, but it's kind of done to death. And it's not particularly Lovecraftian. I don't know, real women doing real things.
Right?
Why not?
Dude, you can have a girl look cool with a shotgun.
Yeah,
shooting stuff down with
giant boobs.
Right?
I mean,
So yeah, I think it's the game that I pull out when I'm playing with my female friends to say, hey, this is what I do. Cool. As a hobby, and it's not weird or scary to them. It's not like pulling out Dark Eldar or something like that.
S&M, Freako kind of. And again, I play with my wife. That was part of writing the game fast and simple. Was we don't have that much time, so it's nice to sit down and play a game or two in an hour, and we're totally normal.
Yeah, so we're gonna go and play a game of Strange Aeons, and you can see the aftermath of it. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
It'll be totally fun, and nobody will get hurt.
Yay! I'm a fan of that. Anyways, see ya.
Teri will be playing a formless thing, which I'm sure is new for her. But
thanks.
Joke, yo. So there you go. She's got 1 blob. And that's for you. And I'll be playing a threshold team of 3 guys. I won't bore you with how I spend points to make everything equal, but that's 15 points, that's 15 points. Essentially, this is the first game of a newly formed threshold task force. They are going to fight a giant blob in the woods. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'll start with mine. So this is my boss. He's got a Tommy gun and a cleaver somewhere on his person. This is his right-hand man, who's strangely enough on the left. He's got dynamite, and this is just a stock agent who has nothing. So, roll dice, see who goes first. I got a 3, you got
I got a 2.
That'll be me. So, To nominate things, you choose one model. That model takes 2 actions. If you have a command model, which I do and you don't, he can choose 2 other guys within 10 inches. So I nominate this guy. He chooses both of these guys. This guy is going to take 2 actions moving. So a 5 and a 5, which is essentially a run. We'll call it -1 for going up those rocks. So he's going to end up somewhere about here. My boss is going to just hang back here, just take 1 action and then do something like have a smoke or compose a sonnet or whatever. You're free to bend your tape measure anywhere inside the laws of physics. He'll go about there, so he'll also move and move. They close in on the blob. That is my turn. Now play goes to you.
Alright, so movement 4, which means I move 4 inches?
That is correct. And again, you've got 2 actions.
Oh yes, I do. And what's my attack range?
Now it has an 8-inch pseudopod attack. You're free to measure anything at any time.
Ooh, pre-measuring, because I am a gamer, not a carpenter.
Exactly. We've all lost to those carpenters.
All those carpenters. Go here.
So first action move, second action, you should be, oh, you're plenty in.
Plenty in. So the pseudopods shoot.
So you have D3 attacks. So first of all, roll a dice, cut it in half to see how many pseudopods you can form up.
5
What do you know? So you get 3 pseudopods.
That's 3.
So roll 3 dice. Your dexterity is, I believe, a 4 or better.
Dexterity is 5 plus.
5 plus. So you need a 5 or better to hit him.
Ooh. So 1.
2 hits.
2 hits.
Roll that 6 again. If you roll another 6, it's a critical hit, which is bad news for me.
It's not a critical hit.
Still, so your pseudopods lash out, grabbing Guy, and you pull him into base to base with your horrible mouth orifice to eat him. You are something called hideous in this game, which means whenever a human model comes close enough to you to see how absolutely otherworldly and freaky you are, you must make a test against his resolve. Oh, look at that, and he passes. Okay, so he's seen freakier stuff this week. So now we fight around a close combat. You again get D3 attacks.
D3.
So you get 1 attack. Good for me, I get 2. You add +1, I think, to your highest. It'll say on your profile.
So D3 resolution.
Close combat bonus +1.
+1,
yeah.
Perfect.
I also am +1, so both, it's basically just a roll off.
So 2s?
Just 1.
Or just 1. That's right.
Oh, nice. So I'm 6 + 1 is 7. You are 2 + 1 is 3. Quick math says I beat you by 4.
Oh.
So we tussle. I get 4 good jabs in there with my knife. Damage is only D +1, unfortunately. Oof. 6 + 1 is 7. Your constitution is
6/8.
Ah, so not quite enough. That's armor is the slash.
Gotcha.
So I got 7. You got 8. So in the end, I do not manage to poke you at all, and nothing happens.
Oof.
That's the end of that. That's both your actions.
Yes, both my actions.
Now it goes back to me. So again, I've got a 10-inch nomination range. You can see what happened there is you grabbed a guy and pulled him out of the nomination range. So that sucks for me. Now, at the start of every turn where there's a combat still on the table, you resolve that combat before the other person gets to go.
Gotcha.
So once again, how many attacks do you have?
I have 6. That's
so
3 more.
3 attacks. I get 2. So you roll 3 dice, I roll 2 dice.
That's 1, a 3, and a 6. +1 is a 7.
So I'm 7 as well, but you rolled a 1. That's called a fumble. So it comes to me, giving me +1. Now, I had such a crap time last time. What I'm actually going to do is back away since I won and not fight you. Also, hopefully, putting me in nomination range of my boss, which he is. So I'll nominate all 3 guys. This guy will move down to here and then shoot you. I'll give you a 6 or better save.
All right.
Actually, we'll call it a 5 or better for the front of that truck.
Gotcha.
So I gotta hit you first. And I don't. Shot goes wide. So don't worry about your save.
All right.
This guy, same thing. He will... Actually, you know what he's going to do? He is going to attempt to hit you with dynamite.
Oh.
So he takes a ready action, meaning he's got to light the dynamite and kind of aim it up and then throw it. I need a CD template. There's one right behind you there, Terry, if you wouldn't mind grabbing it on the... Perfect. So I can throw it up to 6 inches. One of the easy, nice things about this game is every template you will be required to use is a CD size, so you can pretty much do whatever. So I place the template and I roll to hit. And I miss, which sucks, which means you get to move the template D3 inches in a direction of your choice.
Ooh.
So roll that D3.
Roll the D3. That's 3 inches.
My choice, it's probably still going to hit you.
Yeah.
Actually, well, let's have a look. So you got 3 inches.
3 inches. There's 3.
Right to the center.
Boom.
Oh, look at that. So it just misses you, hits me. So basically I drop it at my feet. I roll 1 dice plus 5 for the damage. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh.
His constitution is 6. I beat myself by 2. Now I take 2 dice, add them together, and add that 2 to it for the injury. Oh, and what do you know? High roller.
That's a high roller.
That's too much. So, boom. Basically that guy is gone in a spray of blood. That's called a major injury. We'll check later to see what horrible things happen to him.
Oh.
He gets covered in his friend's blood. Oh, he hates it. So now he goes temporarily insane. We see what he does.
5.
He freaks out and frenzies and attempts to charge that monster. You damn monster! And he runs up there. Oh, that's not good. And now I got my boss to try to pick up the pieces. So he's going to move up. And then he's going to shoot that monster with a Tommy gun, which is really the only thing I have left to do. So he needs force to hit. Come on, buddy. Look at that. If you roll a 1, it's a possible jam. He does. He jams his gun. Sucks. But before that, there's 2 chances at a critical. It's not a critical, but I do hit you twice. Damage is D plus 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. AP 1 is 7. You are 8. That is not enough. So it just bounces off your horrible purpley rubbery hide. Oh boy. I'm going to use a skill he has called Heroic, which allows me a 3rd action once a game. He's going to use that to clean out his Tommy gun so it is no longer jammed. And back to you.
Back to me. I think I'm going to use the pseudopods to pull the guy who's insane at me.
Okay.
It's not doing that great. So, wank. Oh, do I? Is
you still have to roll. Now you could just move into base to base.
You know what? I will do that
because he's close enough, which still makes him realize you're hideous. I'm having a day.
Man.
What does he do? He frenzies. Okay, so he freaks out and basically he doubles his attacks. Now.
Oh.
So he goes from 2 attacks to 4.
4.
You get D3 attacks as usual. 3. All right, we roll it up. So you get 3 dice. I get 4 dice. You can reroll that later. Oh,
ouch!
Yeah. So
all those 1s and 2s, eh?
So one of my 1s cancels out one of your 1s, leaving me with a 6 plus your 1 is 7 plus my 1 is 8 to your 3. Ooh, so beat you by 5. Is it critical? No. 2, 3. Those are pretty good odds, so I'm going to take that and just stab wildly with my Bowie knife.
Whoa! Look at all those 6s.
So 6, 7, 8. That is 1 wound.
1 wound.
You have multiple of those.
Wounds. I have 4 wounds.
So you take 1 wound. I managed to slash a pseudopod or something.
There we go. We'll mark it off.
And that is... Was that your first action?
That was my first action.
So you have a second action, so we'll fight again, since we are stuck in close combat.
Yes.
So once again, you get D3 attacks.
1 attack.
Alright, I get my 2. Oh.
It's 2.
There you go, I still beat you. So just enough, I'm going to actually back away yet again, because I'm having a hell of a time hitting you with my knife. That's your turn. Start of my turn. Boss nominates him. Boss is going to shoot it with his Tommy gun.
Oh my goodness.
Why can I not roll like this when I play demo games usually? So anyway, that's a miss. Those 2 are hits. Let's see if they're critical.
What?
They are critical. Yeah. Here it goes. Tie it up, kids.
Let's do this.
So damage is D plus 4. A critical adds plus 2 to your damage quotient. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Your constitution 8. So that's 2 wounds. 8, 9. Which means you have 1 left.
1 left. So.
Second action. What the hell? Strike while the dice are hot.
Whew.
There you go. 3 hits.
3 hits.
D plus 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. That will be your last wound.
Oh.
Now I roll to see what the injury is. 7. That is a minor injury.
Minor injury.
Your blob dissipates, soaks into the ground, does whatever. Essentially, it's gone. That was extremely lucky for me.
That was extremely lucky. That was a very good game, though. Thank you, Uncle Mike.
Thank you. Now, if I could just do another 2 minutes of time, what I think is the real selling point of this game, it's a skirmish game that tracks your injuries, etc., etc. So if you recall earlier, I said this guy got a major injury, and I rolled to see what happens to him. Oh. 13. Unlucky for some. So he's actually dead, which means he's scrubbed off my list. Anything he might have had is totally gone. I can now requisition a new guy. Luckily, this is my first game, so he doesn't really matter. I'll just probably buy him back, and everything's cool. So since I did win, I get a skill for one model on the table. I'll get to my boss. Since he did so good, I'll probably lower his dexterity to make him even better with that Tommy gun. Oof. And I can search the place for map pieces. When I find map pieces, you can cash those in for either personnel or unique scenarios. Only on a 6, though.
Whoa, yeah. You're rolling hot tonight.
I know. You want to stay all night? This is awesome. So I got a map piece, and I got one guy dead, but nobody really cares about him. Oh. There you go. And that, in a nutshell, is a quick and dirty game of Strange Aeons.